Hey everybody, it's Queen Jelly here and welcome back to the Toy Box. Today we have a very special video. This is kind of one of my Grail dolls. I know that word gets thrown around quite a lot and I try not to use it too much, but this is definitely a doll that I really wanted. I'd been looking at multiple ways of possibly getting her, but it just wasn't working out. So when the Facebook group that I'm in, someone posted about her for a really good price for her being brand new in the box. As you can see, the box isn't in great quality, which is probably why I was able to get it for the price that I was, but I got it for roughly the market price, like the not current market price, like original price. So these sold for $42 and I got it for $50, so roughly around original price. So I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, I'm super excited. This is a doll that I'm really wanted. And I was so happy to be able to get it all together with her horse and everything. And I just love the mechanic of the fact that her head comes off. So I just think it's great. But so this is the Headless headmistress Bloodgood, daughter of the Headless Horseman. Obviously, this is the headmistress for the school, so they're actually on a slightly larger body, which I will talk about more once she's in hand, but I just think that that's really cool. This was a Toys R Us gift set that was exclusive to Toys R Us, which I was going to say RIP, but they do exist again inside of Macy's, but there's none in my area that I've been able to find, so like I still haven't been able to go to Toys R Us in a long time. So on the back it says, Monster High, be yourself, be unique, be a monster. Meet the frightfully fashionable teenage children of the world's most famous monsters. They've left their parents' outdated haunting habits behind as they figure out the horrors of high school. With the killer style and fiercely loyal friends, you'll see them and scream, drop dead gorgeous. So that's just the basic Monster High premise. And then here on the side we have our specific to Bloodgood information, which it says, age, wise enough to be your grandmother, young enough to be your sister. Monster parents, the Headless Horseman. Killer style, sable cape, high-collared blouses, riding boots, yardstick, and grammar book. Freaky flaw, a lady does not usually disclose such things in public, although I must confess that sometimes my head and body find themselves in separate locations. Pet, I have a nightmare who is my horse and a constant companion, although her nervous demeanor belies her rather intimidating name. She almost always ready to charge into any situation at a moment's notice. Almost. Favorite activity. I love bringing together monsters from different cultures and backgrounds and watching them discover their commonalities far outweighing their differences. Biggest pet peeve. Young monsters that presume they have nothing left to learn. It is disrespectful to see such narrow-mindedness in the young. Favorite school subject. Why not ask which of my students I love the most? Least favorite school subjects. Don't make me fetch my yardstick. Favorite color. I prefer blue or black, but my true favorite color is the color of knowledge. Favorite food. Fresh scones with marmalade and a cup of tea. Delightful. BFFs. I am content with my own company and a good book. And then here we have visit monsterhigh.com for more fun games and content. From what I understand, it has been relaunched with Generation 3 content, but don't quote me on that because I haven't gone on it myself, but I have seen posts about it. The top has the Monster High logo on it, and then the bottom has all of the batch information as well as the barcode. Not that it really matters on I don't even know how old doll at this point. 2012 is the copyright date on the box, but that doesn't necessarily mean much. And at the very least, they usually release the year after the copyright on the box, but that could also just be copyright for the concept too, depending. But yeah, so, and this is also a Latin phrase. I looked it up when I first got it because I was confused because I thought that because usually that's like an instruction thing, I thought. But now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of remember on my Creepductions seeing the same kind of thing where it's like a little like phrase thing that they say. But I'm going to get this out of the box. I know that's probably not going to make everybody happy, but it's going to make me happy. And I paid my money for my doll. And again, the box isn't even in that good of condition, and I want her out of box, so I'm going to open her up, but I'm going to do it off camera, and I'm going to look that up again to see what it was. But like I said, it was a Latin phrase, and yeah, I'll be right back. She is everything I wanted her to be, and I'm so happy right now. With the exception of one tiny thing. But anyway, so the Latin saying is there, no reliance can be had on appearance, I believe is what it was. But this is the background from the box. It's her headmistress office, so it's her desk and chair, and then we have some eyeballs back here and some spider webs, and it's really cool like black and purple flooring and black and purple wallpaper, as well as some spider stained glass windows up there. And the only thing I'm not happy with is something that just happens with these older dolls, is she does have quite a bit of glue head. Like her hair is very much like stuck to her face, and it's very hard. Thankfully though, it does not affect the head gimmick, so her head here is still squishy enough that I'm able to pop it off and put it on as intended, so that's really nice. She's so freaking pretty, and you saw how nice she sits on her horse Nightmare. Like I don't know, somebody said that like the proportions were wrong, and that like they needed it was more proportionalized for like a regular Monster High and not this larger, like the big sister body. But I think it looks great on her. She does not come with a stand like most Monster Highs did at the time, but that's because her horse essentially acts as the stand. So her horse Nightmare is a blue horse. It's a general basic sculpt with the, the 1 foot raised. I will say the feet do look a little bit larger than usual, but it could also just be the coloration making the proportions look a little bit larger. There's a purple mane that is currently rubber banded to the back of the leg. I do want to keep the mane nice, so I'm going to keep that in. That's why I also left this plastic in to keep the mane nice, because so far it's really soft and nice and clean and tidy, so I want to kind of keep it that way, at least for now. But it is this really pretty blend of a couple of different colors of purple, and it's really soft, so it's probably it's probably Saran, because I believe that's what all the older Monster High dolls had, but whatever it is, it's very soft and nice. And they come with this purple saddle that does appear to be removable. At first I thought it was molded on, but it is removable. You just have to undo the buckle at the bottom. And the saddle has these skelets. These are raised, so this is an extra like shape on top. You can even see that the eyes are kind of sunken in on the skelets. They do have these red eyes and a purple like muzzle that does not have any reins that go back. When I had horses like this as a kid, I believe the one I had reins on it. But this is a unique sculpt because this also has the skelets in it, in the joints. So it's not just a like recolored Barbie horse, although it's very similar to one. And then I saw a little like patch on the back of this leg, but I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, since that's the only spot like that, I think that is intentional. But for a second, I wasn't sure if that was intentional or just like plastic degrade. But the way that it is, I think that's intentional. It's just interesting that there's only like one spot like that on the back of that ankle. And then we have Miss Bloodgood herself. Boop. I don't know. I just really enjoy that. That was one of the reasons why I wanted this doll, was because of the fact that her head was easily removable. It just amuses me. But so, like I said, she does have a bit of glue seepage. So back here is pretty hard, and her bangs and stuff kind of stuck to her forehead. And you can kind of see like the lines of glue on her forehead, but that's, you know, it is what it is. That's what, like I said, what happens with these older Monster High dolls. But her hair is dark black with purple streaks in it, and you can see them all the way throughout her bun, and throughout her bangs that are nicely curled. She has some purple eyeshadow with a purple liner and some pink all the way up into right below her eyebrows, which are a thin dark brown. And of course she has her black winged eyeliner on the outside and some lower lid lashes. And then a dark burgundy grape colored, like burgundy wine-ish color lipstick. And a pretty, otherwise pretty neutral face sculpt, seeing as she is a human. Nothing too crazy. She does have a really pretty profile, and it looks like her ears have the potential to be pierced, but I don't think that they are. Again, because it was probably a modified sculpt from like a Barbie. I just realized that the hairband snapped, and it's one of those where, because the glue is so strong, it from the glue seepage, that even though the rubber band snapped, it's staying in place, which is the kind of only advantage of glue seepage at this point, to be honest. Yeah. I was kind of hoping that just the head could sit on the saddle, but it doesn't seem like it wants to. So we can put it back on her for the rest of this part. But as you can see, it's just like a rounded nub up here. This part doesn't move a lot. It kind of moves side to side, but doesn't really move much at all otherwise. And it kind of snaps in. But because of it being a rounded ball, her head is able to just kind of rotate around on that ball part without having to have the mobility of this part. But let me show you really quick, because I happen to have one that I got from the thrift store. This is a Cupid body. Unfortunately, the neck peg is a little broken. Not terribly so, but a little bit, such that I rebodied her, but I still have the body around because I'm hoping to be able to fix the neck. Because it's just that, like, it's not as sturdy as it should be. But anyway, this is what a neck peg typically looks like. Obviously different dolls have different variations of this, different lengths, different styles, but it typically looks something like this, because as you can see, these pegs here are what keeps the head from being able to just pop off naturally, which is why you have to soften the head up in order to remove it from these pegs typically, because otherwise it gets caught on those. So to make the gimmick work, they basically just rounded it off and didn't give it any pegs to keep the head permanently attached. So that's how it can just go on and off. But it still has, like I said, it still has full movement for the most part, because of it being that rounded joint inside, and that you can kind of feel it like click into place when it moves. As for her clothes, she has a purple jacket on. It is pretty long. It goes to about her mid-calf. It is kind of like a cheap, one of the cheap materials that we kind of see now on Barbies that we're not very happy with. It's that like cheap feeling crunchy plastic top. It does unvelcro in the front. It has some buckles or some faux buttons on it, as well as these pink like straps to kind of make it shaped tighter, as well as some black rings around the sleeves, and then pink and red cuffs and a little white like flare here, as well as a white ruffle collar. It's very pretty. And then we open it up, and she does have the typically, yeah, that's what we typically see with these kinds of shirts. They don't have the sleeves, just so that the jackets fit on better. So they end up being a tank top instead of like a full dress shirt. But when the coat is on, it looks like a full dress shirt. But we see that a lot with like Ken's, when they are separate pieces. Sometimes like modern Ken suit that I have, the white shirt's just attached and it's just the Velcro area. But anyway, so here's the white shirt underneath. It does unvelcro in the back, and it has this attached pink tie on the front. And then she has on some black glittery leggings, basically, that go to about ankle length. So they are pretty much about leggings length. Which I feel like, I don't know, maybe in the 2010s we were wearing leggings for pants. I think people were. I was like, I feel like that's more modern, but I think this was around the same time as that. And then she has these almost knee-high riding boots. They're quite plain, especially for them being Monster High shoes, but they're very effective for what they're supposed to be. They're very clean and, you know, very specifically riding boots. With not even any print on the bottom, because that's why I was hoping maybe there'd be like a little thing on the bottom to like make up for that. Like I said, they're pretty basic, but honestly, they get the job done, and they're pretty appropriate for Lovegood. I do see a skullet on the zipper pull. You can see it. There it is. It's super tiny, but it's there. So there's a skullet and a zipper pull. So there's at least something on there that shows that it was even if it's a reused sculpt, it was modified. And then that is a cardboard book that is held on with a rubber band. That's not really accessory. It's more meant to just be a packaging display piece, but she can kind of hold it. So I'm going to keep her like that. And then for right now, even though, like I said, Nightmare is supposed to kind of be her stand, I am going to place her on one of my Amazon stands. Of course, because her waist is so small. We'll see. Yeah, she's able to stand. Sometimes with the thinner dolls, they don't really stay very well on these stands because their waists are about the size of the opening. But anyway, so as I was saying, this is one of the bigger bodied dolls, which is the same body that we have here for Elvira. It actually might even be like, although she has smaller hands. Look at that. Her hands are much smaller. I guess she has like regular hand size. But yeah, they have about the same skin tone and everything. They're definitely the same. Like in height wise, I know it's hard to tell with Elvira's like beehive, but they do appear about the same height, but Elvira almost feels a little bit thicker than Lovegood does. Like she might even be slightly larger, but maybe they just maybe it's just because of it being like a newer plastic and like being a collector doll, they kind of umped it a little bit, but I don't know. Because I thought that that's where this body sculpt came from. But she almost feels a little bit bigger. Interesting. So I switched their outfits to kind of do like a comparison to see, and I also looked at them not dressed, and I did some comparisons as well and took some detailed photos of that. And I do believe that it is the same sculpt. At first I thought that the sculpt on Lovegood was a little bit different because the shoes I was having a really hard time getting on, but I was able to get them on without the tights, no problem, and they were really loose, which was the same as they were on Elvira. But then when I put the tights on, because they were loose because I needed the tights, I put the tights on and then I could hardly get the shoes on, but I was able to get them on. It just took a little bit of wiggling. So like looking at them side by side and having them laid out without anything on, I'm 99% certain that they are the exact same sculpt. It's just that this dress is really designed to accentuate the sculpt, as well as obviously them adding the proper neck peg into Elvira. She can't just pop her head off. And then an interesting choice that they made with Elvira is they gave her the regular hand sculpt. So like if I compare it to like Ghoulia's here, it's the same size as Ghoulia's, whereas Lovegood's is a slightly larger sculpt. So I thought that that was interesting that they chose to do that. I'm not sure why, if it was just to make her like daintier looking or what the idea was, but either way, that's the only thing that I can find that's really genuinely different. I believe, so like I said, I believe the body sculpt is the same. They just gave her obviously a neck peg that is different from Lovegood's, and then they gave her regular size hands instead of the bigger hands. So I'm going to get them switched back and finish up my closing remarks. Here they are back in their original outfits. Yeah, my closing thoughts are that I am very happy that I got this doll. She is what I wanted her to be. I'm so glad that I was able to, you know, remove her head and everything, even with having the glue seepage. Nightmare is beautiful and in excellent condition. So like, I think that this was a great find and a great price for this set. And it was really fun to be able to dress her up and kind of take some photos with Elvira here. Yeah, so overall, very happy with my purchase. Very happy with this set. And thank you for coming along with me and unboxing her. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you also very soon. Bye.